Today's Psalm, Psalm 105, begins like this, and as I read it, I want you to guess what the whole theme of the Psalm is about. Verse 1 reads, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever." What do you think the Psalm's all about? Well, you might be a bit surprised. Because amazingly, despite the beginning of the psalm starting like that, giving all glory and praise to God, acknowledging him for being good and kind, it's a whole psalm, it's a whole song that's a lament, really. Because it's a psalm where the psalmist is feeling lost. He's probably representing God's people who are in exile. They're captured. They're a defeated people. Goes on to describe how they're also hungry. They also seem isolated and confused and beaten. But how remarkable that the psalmist begins like that. And yet, those can be our own experiences in life each day, can't they? Not literally being in exile in a foreign land. But we can feel at times, and sometimes it's because of circumstances, sometimes it's because of ourselves, sometimes it's because of our sin, that we do feel lost, that we do feel abandoned, we do feel defeated. We can feel hungry spiritually. We can feel isolated. I'm sure many have during this present crisis. And yet what we do is we learn from the psalmist that when times are tough and times are hard, we begin by acknowledging that God is always good 100% of the time, no matter what the circumstances, and he's faithful to his people. Yes, we're honest, and so we share how we feel, just like the psalmist does as he bears his heart, talking about his concerns. But he also reflects on how good and kind God has been. And because it's not just a psalm that applies to those who are in exile hundreds of years ago, it's a psalm for all of God's people, and so ultimately we look to God as our Saviour, God as the one who will come and meet us, God as the one who will come and help us. There's these quite extraordinary verses 23 to 29, that talk about God's might and his power. We often use them in the Christianity Explored course because they remind us of our ultimate rescuer, our ultimate Saviour, the one who came and even calmed the storm on the lake, but of course the one who came and died to give us life and freedom. So let's give thanks to the Lord always, trusting him no matter what our circumstances.